State Republicans are filing a complaint with the State Ethics Commission, what Oregon Governor Kate Brown may or may not have done. A public debate for state Senate took place at SOU last night, how candidates feel about sanctuary states. And a new update on the T-Mobile dispute in Grants Pass. More details ahead. Your NBC5 News at Sunrise starts now. Good Friday morning, everyone, and thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Allison Ross. Kyle Averman is off today, and the one and only Matt Jordan is here tracking our weekend weather forecast. How's it looking?
Oh, it's looking great. There you go.
Perfect. Great.
Sunny.
Weather's done.
All right. Over. We're done. And let's actually check it out. There are a few things I do want to tell you guys about. It is still fire season. So, back on the watches and warnings map, we have a fire weather warning, also known as a fire weather watch or a red flag warning. That means essentially humidity is rather low. And that means essentially we've got very dry conditions with some breezy winds, with some hot temperatures this afternoon, at least hot for this time of year. We've got the potential for new fires, and the fires that are still out there, still not 100% contained. The Klondike, for example, the potential for those fires to spread to other areas. So there's a lot of concern. And the last thing we need is a new fire. Now that'll last through the weekend as we see those breezy winds, as we see those dry conditions. Now also out there is that blue color that you see on your screen. This is all encompassing parts of Siskiyou, but mostly Coos, Curry, and Josephine counties. That's a freeze watch and a frost advisory. Essentially, we have the potentials for some rather cold temperatures already this morning. So let's actually check it out. Some areas seeing their first frost or freeze of the year. Grants Pass, for example, getting into that frosty category. Cave Junction already dropping down to around 30 degrees. You've already seen freezing temperatures east of the Cascades, so no advisory there, even though you have 21 in Chemult and 21 degrees in Christmas Valley right now. Back to you.
Matt, thanks so much. Our top story and all new this morning, Oregon Governor Kate Brown is the subject of an ethics complaint by state Republicans. According to Oregon Public Broadcasting, the GOP filed a complaint with the State Ethics Commission to see if Brown used public funds to fund her campaign. This came up after a video from a conservative activist surfaced, appearing to be secretly recording videos of Brown's former campaign manager, who allegedly accuses Brown of mismanaging state agencies. State Democrats are saying he was just a disgruntled employee. Well, there are just 25 days left until Election Day, and this morning the Oregon Secretary of State's office will be mailing out voter pamphlets. So those pamphlets should arrive in your mailbox over the next few days. It gives you a closer look at the races and who the candidates are. A digital version will also be seen on the Secretary of State's website. Meanwhile, ballots will be mailed out next week. And as a reminder, you have until October 16th to register here in Oregon and October 22nd in California. And with that election getting even closer, the candidates are working in overtime to get your vote. Democrat Jeff Golden and Republican Jessica Gomez shared their thoughts and platforms at a forum on SOU's campus last night. Golden is a former Jackson County commissioner and radio personality. Gomez is running for her first public office and is the founder and CEO of Rogue Valley Micro Devices. Each candidate spoke out about topics like climate change and Oregon as a sanctuary state, the law that prohibits enforcing federal immigration laws against a person if their only crime is being an illegal citizen. Gomez says she's against keeping the sanctuary law in place.
The problem is what we put in place in 2017, which says that if someone is going through our criminal justice system, that we don't have to, and maybe we shouldn't even coordinate with immigration officials when we find out that person is here illegally. That's putting extra stress on our system that we don't need. We have enough problems trying to deal with what we have here today.
215,000.
And on the other side, Jeff Golden is in favor of the sanctuary law, saying getting rid of it would allow racial profiling in our state.
215,000 people. And it fixes a problem that doesn't exist. It reverses a 30-year-old law that nobody says has been problematic, including law enforcement. Long discussion.
The two candidates gathered with concerned citizens after the event to talk about more topics that they weren't able to fully address during their time on stage. The two candidates running for Jackson County Sheriffs battled it out on stage earlier this week on local public access channel KOBI-TV. Sheriff Nathan Sickler debated former Utah police officer Bill Froelich. Both submitted applications for the position when previous sheriff Corey Falls resigned at the end of 2016. Sickler was selected by both county commissioners and a community panel. He served as the county sheriff since then. Before that, he was a captain. Froelich is a Navy veteran with more than 30 years of law enforcement experience. RBTD says they will replay that debate through Election Day. And now to a follow-up on a story that's gotten a lot of attention this week. The Grants Pass Department of Public Safety has confirmed the T-Mobile employee accused of denying services to an armed detective was not acting appropriately or representing the company's policies towards law enforcement. In a statement released Thursday, the department says they spoke with the T-Mobile, who says they do allow armed sworn officers in their stores. The department says T-Mobile apologized to the detective personally and has taken steps to ensure that this does not happen to any other officers. This morning, optimism has turned into grief after the body of a missing Arizona hiker was found on Mount Hood yesterday. Maria Martinez has that story.
Since Monday, crews have been scouring Mount Hood near the Timberline Trail, looking for David Yagmorian, a hiker from Glendale, Arizona.
But it happens so often up here. I live right in Rhododendron, and unfortunately, we hear about this way too often.
As crews set out down new trails Thursday, an Oregon Guard helicopter took to the skies, as did a Hood River County airplane. But according to investigators, it was a lone hiker who made a disturbing discovery at 8,300 feet. A body the medical examiner later confirmed to be Yagmorian.
It's really heartbreaking, I think, all around for the community and people who hike up here, and especially the family members.
Investigators say it appears the 30-year-old hiker was trying to set up a tent and sleeping bag before he died. They also say he may have been hypothermic.
Really awful considering how close they thought he was to the lodge.
According to officials, there's evidence he may have been injured from a 30-foot fall, but they say they do not suspect foul play. Yagmorian went missing while on a hike with a friend, but the two split up. He was last seen on the east junction of the Timberline Trail by the Pacific Crest Trail.
I don't personally know how you're that close to Timberline and disappear.
Searchers believe he may have missed a turn and headed higher up the mountain and was trying to find a way back down. An unfortunate mistake, they say. But one other hikers tell me serves as a crucial reminder.
I think it's super important to try to stick together too, regardless of how close you are, and it's always tough to make those calls.
Hiking is wonderful and it's awesome, but it has its risks as well.
Maria, thanks so much. Well, this morning we are continuing to get a look at the damage left behind by Hurricane Michael in Florida. One of the areas that was hit the hardest is Mexico Beach. The Category 4 storm left the entire block of homes destroyed. Michael is one of the strongest storms to ever hit the United States. Rescuers sifted through debris and cleared away scattered pieces of waste. Tropical Storm Michael weakened as it moved over the Carolinas Thursday, and I was told a little bit earlier this morning that there are 8 people confirmed dead right now. And looking at those pictures, that is just not what we're seeing outside in our local area.
Just complete devastation there. But for us, it's almost the other side of the spectrum completely, because we just have clear, calm conditions, and really we're going to hold on to that through the weekend. So let's actually look outside, and while we are clear right now, the sun's still about 30-45 minutes away from making its way up over the mountains, and as that happens, we will start to warm up a bit, and after a cold morning. So I want everybody to be aware of this. One thing, we're going to start out probably one of the chillier days we felt so far this season, even since about spring. And then we'll warm right back up. So a light jacket, layers, pretty classic Oregon kind of feel to it. So a little cold and then a lot warmer as we head in the afternoon with hardly a cloud in the sky. For the coast, there are some areas of fog, especially around Crescent City. Most of your high temperatures, though, in the 60s, up to around 77 degrees for Brookings and Harbor. In the West Valley, sunny but a frost advisory and freeze warning this morning, especially for areas of the Illinois Valley. Your highs in the 70s to around 80 degrees. And east of the Cascades, a sunny day with your highs 65 to 68 degrees, but cold tonight, 22 to 32 degrees. Allison?
All right, Matt, thanks so much. 6:39 is the time right now. NBC5 News at Sunrise is just getting started. Coming up, too many wild horses and not enough land. What Modoc National Forest is doing with over 1,000 horses. And new evidence suggests a Saudi journalist who wrote for the Washington Post was killed inside a Saudi consulate. Mixed reaction from politicians next. And as we go to break, here's a look at this morning's lowest gas according to GasBuddy.com. Stay with us. We have more NBC5 News at Sunrise coming up after the break.